Oof. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a while since I've uploaded here at KiwiLabs Pickleball. However, I finally have some semi-concrete news to share with you guys and just lots of updates on what's going on over here. Excuse me. I'm just things that I'm so excited to share with you guys. So I'm not even going to waste any time. I'm kind of framing this as like a what's hiding in Larry's pickleball bag. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of the, first things first is a couple updates on the slice. We made just a couple minor fixes, not fixes, just like factory improvements, just like keeping things in line, making sure we're staying on top of our quality. So a couple updates on that. And then I have the next 2 to 3 releases in this bag that are either like 80 to 90% ready to be seen. And you know, it's always kind of been the nature here to like share with you guys some sneak previews and stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. Like even if a couple of these paddles are maybe like gonna change slightly, this is the final like phase. So this is what's actually happening. Honestly, I use all 4 of the ones we're gonna talk about all the time. So I don't know, let's just get into it, right? Okay, so let's start with the slice. So this is a slice, a fresh one. What we have done with our current batch is made a couple improvements. As far as grip size, we've brought it down a hair. It is still a bigger grip. I think that's what we've always had, or always what we wanted, like a tennis-inspired grip. But we just brought it down a little bit. They were measuring upwards of like, I think, 113, 114 millimeters around, and we dialed it into like 110, 111. So just a tiny bit smaller, so hopefully people will enjoy that. And then we also have made improvements with our polishing. We just upped it a little bit. You're gonna have a little more roughness, still within spec, obviously. That's important to us. And you'll just notice it's a little rougher, and I think a tiny increase in speed. That said, our other ones were still performing very well. So I just, minor improvements just to kind of make sure we're always evolving, really. So that's what's going on with the slice here. And then something I'm going to announce later officially is what we have here. We're going to sell a kit on our site. Like the grip size has been, the people who love the grip love it. And then there's people who really wish it was smaller, but we can't make everyone happy, right? So here's the solution we landed on. Where'd it go? Got it. If you saw how messy my desk is, I don't know, I'm losing my mind. All right, so basically the kit that we're gonna start selling, these are the pallets that can be put on the edges of the, so basically when you take the grip off, or the grip tape off, you can now replace the pallet. So we're gonna sell a kit to make the grip circumference much smaller. So this takes off a lot. It's here's an old one because I just tried this out earlier. Maybe you could see the thickness there. That's the current one that's on them, and then this is the much well, not much, but a drastically thinner EVA piece of EVA foam that you can use to kind of do it yourself, make a smaller grip. Also included in the kit, we'll have a new end cap because obviously it's going to be smaller. So if that's something you're interested, we'll start looking into putting that on the website so you can, do it yourself and get a smaller handle if that's something you're interested in. So those are 2 things we're doing with the slice, but now let's talk the future. So up first, let's talk about the one that we've been, the actual next one to launch, right? So this is the Spiked, and it is a very fun paddle. Everything about it is fun. The color, the design, the way it's built, everything is just a fun, professional, high-end experience, I'd say. People ask me all this time of like, control versus power versus, all that stuff. And I think the goal with this is a perfect all-around paddle. Because at the end of the day, I think at the higher level, like this is definitely supposed to be tailored towards a higher level player, like probably 3-5 and above, who's looking for something that's going to go where they want it to go. Someone who's doesn't need a forgiving paddle. So like the slice, for instance, is like super forgiving. You got that wide face. It's got a giant sweet spot, and when you're learning and when you're at that medium level, you know, it saves you. But then as you progress, you have the power and stuff to back it up. So that's why the slice is so special. What this is unique at is for the precision players who want the ball to go exactly where they want it to go. I feel like this does that. And it's a combination of the way the 3K carbon works, and just like the overall build of the paddle, because it is still thermoformed with the foam injected, so you have a nice sweet spot. It is forgiving for the most part. Like you'd think that like with the air vents we built in, it would delete the sweet spot, but it still expands probably all the way, I'd say, to here, like right before the vent. So it still has a great connection spot, and the swing weight it just feels so light in the hand. That's obviously the main point of this, is to be quick at the net. That's why you put all the holes in the paddle. It's not just a gimmick. It really, it's to feel light. And it also helps you bring more of the power when you need it too. So you could put a full formal stroke into your shots more. And I think that those are just the things that like I notice. I'm trying to take like the technical stuff and put it into like a conversational language right now. So hopefully that makes sense. Like you really feel like it's like an extension of your arm in a lot of ways. You don't feel like it drags down. It's like you could get a sincere motion without having any like wind delays, I guess you would call it, with a thicker or heavier paddle. So really light. I think I could see a lot of people who want like a heavier paddle also liking it too. It feels so light, but it actually is 8 ounces, just like, you know, most other paddles, but it doesn't feel that way. So it's well weighted, well distributed. What can I say? It's great. It's really cool, and I can't wait to get it in more hands. Let's get a close up there so you could see the 3K carbon weave. And we had to make a decision, right? You know, we have and we're going to have plenty of T700 paddles. So if that's what you love the T700 face, there's plenty of them on the market. So like, why do it again? With this one, we wanted to do something new. They're not like we're the only one having a 3K carbon paddle, but the way that 3K carbon hits, the tinsels, right? So that thicker weave, it lends itself to be more, I'm trying to like dumb this down. So T700, what you're probably used to, something on the slice or other carbon paddles, it's thicker weaved or thinner weaved, making it much more stiff. Where this is still sturdy, obviously, but it has almost more play to it. I've explained it in the past. It almost feels like you could catch the ball and then throw it back. More dwell time. I think it really does a great job the way the 3K plays. It's not too poppy because everyone obviously sees the hole and says, oh, is it like the Power Air? Selkirk paddle, and I don't think it is. It's softer than that, but not too soft. So it's perfectly balanced in every way. If I could try not to oversell it, but just, you know, frame what it does. So yeah, that's the spiked. Here's the deal where we're at. We do have pre-orders on the website. For those of you that want to get in line. That said, it will be a little bit. We ran in the first snag of things with, we had a batch, that's what I'm holding here, that we were ready to send in, and we measured, and the butt caps were too long on them. It's a tiny thing like that. Made them like 0.1 too small, because we test it here before we send it to USA Pickleball. So we have 6 more rush ordered, and then we're submitting. So all said and done, we need production of those 6 done. We're gonna probably have them here within the next 2 weeks. Then we're sent in to USA Pickleball. That'll be another, 3 to 6 weeks. all along that time, we're producing the official batch, the launch batch. So we are looking at maybe about 10 weeks out, if everything goes perfect. So that's where we're at with this. No pressure to pre-order, obviously. We're gonna run with it, but we are doing a very small batch to begin with. So if you wanted to be an early adopter, you have an opportunity to. That's why it is there. If not, you could just hold tight till it's as available as the slices. Okay, up next, the paddle that we'll be releasing probably simultaneously to this, if not maybe even a little sooner. This one's moving a little faster. This is the 00 Start. This is what I was talking about. This thing is the Whomper. It is a T700 raw carbon paddle that we're hoping to price under $80, maybe even under $70. We still got to run some numbers, but it is great. It is just, it almost looks awkward, right? The shape is different. It's and I like that. And I think we actually tested a couple versions of the Start. We had some that are, I don't know, like kind of like this shape that everyone had, like a carbon paddles, like everyone was doing this. And at the end of the day, what it came to is this just had a great sweet spot. It just performed really, really well all around. It performs very close to Engage Pursuit, if you're a fan of those. It's basically that, except half the price. Like the Carbon Pursuits, the new fancy ones, it's one of those, but not even, less than half the price. So it's just an incredible value, an incredible paddle, and that way we can offer something awesome at every single price point. And it's not like the one thing that you're losing is it's not thermoform. But I don't know, some people think thermoforms are, too poppy, or they don't trust the delamination issues, and maybe they're just Gen 1 aficionados. That's where this one comes in. And if you are just a Gen 1 fan looking for a carbon fiber Gen 1 paddle that's gonna kick some butt, then we've got this too. So excited on this. One thing to note, the actual production version, we are not going with this colorway. It's the same exact shape as this, but we've made improvement to the design and colorway. I'm throwing them on the screen now. We'll have a pink version and a blue version with a cool design on the front, and then a blue and a pink version of the Kiwi on the back. So that's the 00 Start. We'll give it its own dedicated video down the road. Same with all of these, actually, but keep an eye out for this, because I really think we're gonna make a couple ripples at this price point. I love this paddle. Like, it's great. I don't know what else to say, man. Okay, and then is the paddle that I've actually been using way more than I thought I would, and this is our. You see how much I'm using. Look how dirty that is. If only I had a KiwiLabs cleaner for it. I don't have one in my bag. This is the Canon. So let me see if another one's not as dirty. There you go. You can see that one a little better. It's black on black. This one has an over grip. This is the grip it comes with. You can see we got our Kiwi on the back. We have our Canon logo on the front. And it's just a great paddle. We're using everything we're using in the spike or the slice. This one might come in a tad more expensive. It's a little sturdier. I think sturdier is the wrong word. I was gonna say stiffer too. Maybe it's just the longer face that makes me feel that way. But if you are looking for that longer elongated paddle, and that's what's held you back on the slice, and that's why you never went with it, that's where the Canon comes in. We've been internally calling it like the power paddle, and I think it's just a great power play paddle. Not that there's any lack of control. It's very well balanced. We're probably going to do this in a 16 mil and a 13 mil. The 13 mil version we're still testing out, but the 16 mil is clutch. The core size, sorry. It's perfect. It's really so good. It is very similar shaped to the Yola Perseus, a very similar mold. So we kind of modeled it off of that, but with our own materials, same thermoform specs you're used to. It almost feels boring to talk about like foam injected sides and a thermoform paddle, because it's just what everyone does now. So I don't feel like it's anything special anymore, like when we were launching the Slice. But the way this plays, the way that it's being built is just this paddle, man. It's killer. So yeah, the whole lineup, I couldn't be more excited, proud of, whatever you want to call it. We've got a clutch lineup. Oh, let me grab all of them. So hopefully, if everything goes as planned, we will have all of these launched, fingers crossed, by just like end of the year, we'll say. And this is what we'll have, and it'll be rocking and rolling. And I think that, I don't know, I just can't wait. It's been so hard to get all this done. It's been a lot of work, but we finally have a lineup. And I think that's been the goal since the success of the Slice, is like, okay, now what? We need something for everyone. We need something for every price point, every skill and style. And this is what we landed on. And creating a lineup was so much harder than just creating a paddle. Like, we made a great paddle with the Slice. Now we need to make 4 great paddles, but not only that, they all need to complement each other. So I personally feel like the way I built this was like, I want all 4 of these in my bag, because each one does something a little different. And judging on who I'm playing or the style of play, the mood I'm in, that's what I'm gonna grab. So you need something softer that you could still kind of attack with. It's both of these two in my hand. Like, these both can do that. Obviously you're gonna get a little more power from the spiked than the 0-0 start, but the 0 star is just a perfect all-rounder, man. It's gonna get so many like 2 to 3-0 players, like, just crushing it. That's the goal. And it's gonna get them, hopefully, you can work your way up to the other guys. So it's like, and then this hand, our thermoformed classic paddle, is just that, guys, I can't wait for you guys to try these, guys. Happy, proud, excited. Other updates, we've been sponsoring a lot of local tournaments. We've just been trying to give back to our local community a lot. All of that couldn't be done without your guys' support, and I've mentioned this in other videos, but I just sincerely, like, I never thought, one, that we'd even see this amount of success out the gate. Just like, I went to the courts this morning, and 4 out of the 8 courts had someone playing with a Slice on it. Like, just blows my mind, really makes me happy. Yeah, I never thought we'd be there, and because of this, we're able to like help. we donated paddles for like kids camps. We've been doing that with our friends at All In Pickleball Gym. If you are in the Grand Rapids area looking for an indoor court where you can play with outdoor balls, not just a gym floor, you got to check them out. Cool group of guys there. And then obviously Grand Rapids Pickleball Club, our local place where we have all of our local tournaments. So many great people in that club. Donating there and just doing what we can to, I don't know. We're just doing what we can, and we couldn't do it without you guys. So I could have said that in like 2 words, and instead I used like 18 sentences. That's probably the sign to wrap up this video. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of comments about, questions on these paddles, so bring them at me. I'll do my best to make it happen. Quick recap, just so you know, this is the one that you could buy. This is already out and rocking. These 2 will be on the market next. We're at the will of production and the USA Pickleball approval. This will come in 2 colorways. This is all we will launch with to start. This will be the only colorway. And then, so these will be very, I'm hoping within a month or 2, you will have at least one of these launched. if not both. And then as soon as we decide, you know, thickness on this, like I said, we're going to try a 13 mil. But the shape and the materials and colorway and everything is set on the Canon, and then we will launch that probably within days of the other ones. So we're coming at the pickleball game with full force. We're here to stay. And thank you guys for watching. Bye.